Today's episode is brought to you by the best store in the universe. Thousands of shirts, but not really. Shop now and support the show at MaddoxRules.com. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from banning straws to burning bras. With over 4 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Thank you, Maddox.
And welcome back, the Sultan of Swag, Mikey Bolts.
Thank you, Maddox.
Special guest this week, TJ Peters.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome back to the show, and welcome back, Mikey Bolts. And we should mention that very special guest, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, sitting in the corner on a stool. Thank you for joining us again, Mr. Trump.
Thank you, Maddox. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yes.
Things going okay for you, sir?
Just a little up and down.
Yeah, a little up and down. How are things in the news? The news is kind of nuts lately. What would you say about that?
Sure is. Don't believe anything. Don't believe anything you hear or are told.
Oh, I heard that you were doing an awesome job and everything was
That's
going
right.
great.
Yeah.
That's right. Keep Ron on the show. He's a good one.
He said
You just said
we
don't
shouldn't
believe
that.
anything.
Don't believe not one thing. No,
Yeah.
Ron, no.
What do you think of the headlines today, Mr. President Trump? What do you?
Get your shit together, Maddox.
Yeah, you're
Come
right.
on to these shows. Very few shows.
I got called out pretty hard.
Didn't take too
No,
long.
good point. Good point, Donald Trump. Well, anyway, we'll get back to some more Trump insights in a
Thank
bit.
you, Maddox.
'Cause I want to really hear what you think about the headlines today, because
sure.
I know you read them.
Yes,
You-
yes. There are some icy headlines,
Yeah.
Maddox.
Okay, yeah. Okay, we can
We'll
say
leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, before we go on, we should talk about the debate this week, which is, should companies sell razors or give Gillectures? That's the debate this week. And we're joined this week by special guest TJ Peters. TJ, welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
You're a
what's my
writer.
thing?
You're a humorist.
I do those things.
Yeah, you've been working like crazy lately.
It has. It's been like a pretty good year. Mostly writing trash for companies that I don't care about. But, you know, they need jokes.
Trash for companies.
What do you mean when you say trash for company? Are you doing like punch up to scripts or?
No,
He's
no,
trying to
no.
say it's a humble brag saying that he just wrote the new Gillette commercial.
Wow.
The
Wow,
best
that wasn't
I
funny
can
at
give.
all.
No.
What?
I
It was-
didn't think it was that funny. So.
You know what?
Well, I mean, look, depending on your audience, it could be construed as extremely, extremely funny. Like, for example, if you agree that men are terrible people and you should be ridiculed endlessly.
Whoa, TJ, jumping the gun here with this debate, all right? We're going to get to that. And before we go on, I should also mention that we will be reading the super chats from the chat room. We just got a super chat from Dreadmere. Dreadmere, welcome back to the show. He was on, I think, he was on last week's episode.
Yeah,
It says, hit the record button the second time to be safe. That's not how it works, Dreadmere. He's trying to throw us off.
You know, it's amazing how many times we've done this and how many times the most basic element of podcasting, which is hit the record button, escapes us.
Yeah, it's happened so many times. And that was the last week was the
The
first
fourth
time.
or fifth time that's happened.
You know what? It's happened a few times. No big
And you're
deal.
very proud of like, I got backups here, I got the track on, I got that audio. So whatever happens, where it's like you have all these backups for like in case you fuck up.
Yeah.
And it would be easier just to not fuck up.
Yeah, well, but then I did use those one of those backups. Then did I not save the day? Did I not save the? You know what though? The last week was the first time.
I don't think it's saving the day. It's
Well,
like that's a.
You know, last week was the first time actually people did notice the audio quality drop. They were like, "Hey man, a lot of clipping this episode." I'm like, "I know." They're like, "Do you need me to help? Do you need help mastering the episode?" I'm like, "No, I don't fucking need your help with this shit. I
You take
don't."
that so personally too when someone's
he
like,
does.
"Hey, like, do you need help mastering the episode?" It's like, "What'd you fucking say to me?"
It's like offering to help tie someone's shoes.
It's like if you came over to my house.
It's emasculated.
Yeah.
If you came over to my house and was like, "Do you need help cleaning up?" I'd be like, "I'm sorry, what did you just say?"
Yeah.
Like, you know, like.
It's the difference between XYZ and, hey, can I get that for you? Like, get the fuck away from my zipper, dude.
How dare you?
Yeah. Is that the Doug Tenapple? Hey, Doug, give me a text if it's really you. I don't know if it's actually Doug. If it is Doug, yeah, man, welcome to the show. If that's the Doug Tenapple, that's the guy who created Earthworm Jim. Amazing creator. Yeah, that's Doug. Yeah.
Dude, that's like one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
I had that on Sega Genesis
Oh, it's
as a
great.
kid.
Yeah.
That was a really fun game.
It was a
Seriously.
fun game. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll be reading more of your super chats throughout the show. Welcome, Dreadmere. Thank you for tuning in. Dreadmere, I'm saving all the voicemails for you because we always get voicemails. Every time Dreadmere's on, we get a shit ton of voicemails, some of them blasting his ass, and some of them agreeing with him.
acquiescing to him.
Acquiescing. That's a good
Specifically
word.
about the
Yeah.
record button or on other issues?
Other issues.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be having more of your super chats throughout the show. Also, if you guys want to leave a voicemail, go to madcastmedia.com. The voicemail number is at the bottom of every page when you click on the best debate. We'll be playing those at the tail end of the show, plus some quick news headlines, a Babcock tip for you. But we should get to the debate this week. And this is a spicy one. This is one that is very topical right now because Gillette, the razor company, just came out with an ad, and I'm sure you've heard about it because it went super viral. I think last time I checked, it had something like 21 million views. And what is the vote ratio on it? Did you guys see
It was like a 2-to-1 downvote to upvote ratio last time I checked.
Really?
It had something like 333,000 upvotes and like 750,000 downvotes.
Yeah, I see here. It's about 1 million downvotes and 570,000 upvotes.
Okay, so about 2-to-1 still.
Yeah.
Or other way around. Yeah, upvotes.
569,000 upvotes, 1 million downvotes.
1 million downvotes. That's an insane ratio, but not as bad as I thought it would be because the most downvoted video on YouTube right now is the 2018 YouTube Rewind video. Did you see it, Mikey?
No, I just know that it's kind of Google grabbing onto a company that they bought that isn't really the same anymore, but they try to recreate something that it's like they ripped the heart out and then they're trying to pump this out, and
It reminds
weird.
me of like those when you watch the Oscars and they have that like in
memoriam.
in memorial.
Yeah.
And like afterwards, everyone's like, "Whoa, you forgot!" And, like they just
Right.
like they're it's just it's like an algorithm to be pissed off about what they forgot. And whenever you have a finite video, you're not gonna have everybody in. So like I feel like
I didn't even
no
see
matter
it.
what, whenever you try and do a video like that, it's just gonna make people angry. To be honest, I didn't even see it either.
Well, so the video, real quick, before we get to the debate, the YouTube 2018 Rewind, the reason it was so controversial is because it's a YouTube property. It's supposed to be like a rewind, like a recap of the year of YouTube, right? They didn't have PewDiePie on it. They didn't even give a nod to the Logan Paul controversy. They didn't have the biggest creators and the biggest movers and shakers on YouTube. Instead, what they had is fucking Will Smith opening it up.
From his famous YouTube channel. Yeah.
And then John Oliver and like Trevor Noah doing fucking Fortnite dances. And Brock Baker, a friend of ours, we
Was he
friend
in
of the show. He was not in it, but he put out a tweet that was very prescient. He said, I can't wait for the YouTube Rewind video to come out so we can see influencers doing Fortnite dances in the suicide forest. And then, and then fast forward to the 2018 Rewind comes out. And it actually they weren't in the suicide forest, but there was like a bunch of influencers doing Fortnite dances in a forest. It was so close to being too on the nose.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, this Gillette ad, though, went super viral. 21 million views. By the time this video comes out, probably 22, 23 million. But it was very controversial. And I'm going to play a little clip of it just so we can get a little bit of context. Here it is.
Movement against sexual harassment.
Masculinity.
Is this the best a man can get? Is it?
So there's a part in this video. So it starts out, they're talking about toxic masculinity. They give nod to the U2 movement, the hashtag Me Too. Was it? Hashtag
Me Too.
Yeah, the hashtag Me Too movement. And then
too.
there's
Hashtag YouTube.
There's a scene during a barbecue where two kids are kind of like wrestling each other. Maybe they're one of the kids being bullied. And there's a bunch of guys at this barbecue, right? And they kind of use this tired, worn out trope where they say boys will be boys, which I guess is something that people still say. But here's that part of the video. Listen to this.
Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. Boys will be boys. But something finally changed.
You know, like men do. We just stand around in a row during a barbecue, and when we see kids like bloodying each other's noses, we just say, "Hey, boys will be." What can you do?
And also, there are dozens of us in a single file line, all with our own individual barbecues, saying it because that's how you barbecue.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're mindless.
Sorry, guys. Never seen art before? Yeah. Sorry, a little bit of art.
is that
on
what
you.
that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
don't
was
think it's
just it's just a little art for you, but if you can't handle that, just a bunch of boys being boys, I guess.
I guess so. Well, anyway, guys, that's the debate this week. Should companies stick to selling razors, or should they give us Gillectures? That's the debate this week. TJ, as our guest this week, I'm going to give you first stab at the debate. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
What is your thought? Should companies stick to selling their core product, or should they give us Gillectures? What do you think?
Well, I mean, I think they're kind of inextricable, right? I mean, the whole thing that they're trying to do is use their brand to, like, you know, attract you to the actual product. The product isn't even really mentioned. They mention their name, their old jingle, the best a man can get. Right. But, you know, there's, as we kind of mentioned earlier, there's no active shaving. They don't talk about the quad core 47 fucking razors they got in the thing. It's just like, we're a brand that seems to, you know, we're drawing our line in the sand and saying, we stand for something. I don't know if they should do it, but if it works, good on them.
Well, do you think that they do stand for something, or is this just them glomming on to some social cause that's popular right now to sell razors?
That's the rub. And I mean, also, like, this is Gillette. It's also P&G. So it's, you know, Procter & Gamble. Like, they're not... This is a huge
Those
corporation.
are fun guys, though. You ever go drinking with them?
Procter & Gamble,
yeah. Boys will be boys.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Yeah.
They're hilarious.
Yeah, so I mean, like, it's hard to say. I for me personally, I look at the ad objectively, and I agree with the message. I think it's cool. I think it's a really well shot thing. It's beautiful. I think that there's some art going on.
Some art in that shit.
There's some fucking art in that shit.
Throw it up.
And so, like, as just like a piece of 2.5-minute media, I'm like, hell yeah. Am I going to buy Gillette razors as a result? Personally, no.
Well, you have a beard.
Oh, yeah. I guess I don't need.
Yeah,
I gotta shave my neck.
Here's the thing. Yeah, you also got a neck, and that's the important thing, guys. Shave your fucking neck. Shave it.
It really does. Like, whenever I feel bad about myself,
yeah,
like my girlfriend will be like, "Will you just go shave?" And I shave, and I'm like, "Oh, that was it." It's just when I get my neck beard growing, I just look like this disgusting, like, old man, and then I trim it up a little bit. I'm like, "Oh, there's still a young guy underneath there. There he is."
Yeah, when you're like rubbing it's the same. It's almost like the same feeling as when you put your hand down your pants. When you go up your neck, if you have a neck beard, it's like, ugh.
Should we even be having this debate, considering every man in this room right now has a beard?
Yeah, but we still shave. We still shave things.
I buy razors.
Yeah,
but
buy
they're
razors.
like,
I just bought a razor today.
Was it Gillette?
I was debating on Gillette. And you know what's actually funny about this debate right now is that I had two different brand razors in my Target bag.
Okay, stop bragging.
Sounds
like Mikey's doing well. All right.
It wasn't like that. I had to take one out. I didn't realize that I had two in there. Anyways, I had the Gillette in there. I ended up going with the Mach 5.
Mach 5. It's a very sharp razor.
With the fart and 5, yeah.
It's the fantastic.
I fucking hate that shit.
The slice and dice.
I stopped shaving with all those modern razors because whenever I would shave, I would just get this like blood, just it looked just a murder across my neck.
There is no good razor, like really good razor, unless you're gonna pay like $80.
I use my dad's old razor from the 60s that has like a single blade, and that's the only thing that doesn't scrape my skin off of its face. It's like unleashing this blood pool underneath it.
It really feels like that's like the greatest con in like marketing history, because like all men have cut themselves shaving with a single razor or whatever, and so the answer to that question is more razors. Put more fucking blades on it.
No,
then you won't cut yourself.
You guys are out of your fucking minds. I love that shit. More razors. Throw more razors on that shit.
For you,
I love it.
You need more razors.
Why?
If they have some kind of like weed whacker, they can just put on your face. Okay, but for like any normal person. You know,
I am a normal. I got the normal amount of hair growth.
Maddox, you need to animate
your face is like a hair factory that's working overtime. They just closed down all the shops on the top. And they focused on everything else.
Yeah, at least they're still working.
It's like they moved the factories to the inner ear. And
don't forget the nostrils.
Right.
It's like a forest in there.
Eventually, Gillette will create the mock full landscaping crew, and then there will be a razor for you.
I like that shit, man. I like the multi-razors. It does give a smoother shave. Are you guys out of your fucking... Haven't you seen the commercials where it bends one whisker forward, and then the second razor comes in, it's like, yo, I got this, bro. And then it comes in and like fucking slice it down. Haven't you seen that shit?
Yeah, it just...
That's how it works.
All those razors make me bleed.
Oh my gosh. First of all, I want to... Okay, if I buy a product and it makes me bleed, that's a bonus. That's a feature. How fucking cool is that shit?
Well, the pain trains.
Yeah, the pain trains. Thank you, Mikey Bolts.
The pain train. I imagine you got to do a cartoon of that where it's you, Maddox, with like a razor with 20 blades on.
Oh my god, yes.
Just like this.
I would love that. Are you kidding me? Just give me a slide that I just slide down and it's just razors all the way down.
So anyways, Gillette.
Eventually, there will be enough razors to where there's like physically no real estate to move the actual blade. You just kind of stick it on and move it a quarter of an inch or whatever, and like pray to God that you don't kill yourself.
You're done with it. Yeah, I'll tell you the most scared I've ever been in my life, like getting any kind of like raise or like a shave or a haircut or anything. I was in Syria when I was a kid, and the barber came out with those giant fucking barber cleavers.
Yeah.
And he started putting like a dollop of cream all over whatever like the back of my neck, and when I still had hair, he was like trying. It was like in the early 90s, I think bowl cuts were still in, so I was getting a bowl cut. And
were they ever in?
Well,
they were happening.
Like they were pretty hot.
I had them.
They were pretty hot in Syria. That and underage smoking. Anyway, this guy took this big fucking razor out and he's like sharpening it on one of those those sharpening stones, and I'm like, gulp. There's nothing more terrifying than that giant fucking blade. I don't want to shave with a scimitar. Give me a fucking, like, a bunch of finely engineered, well-crafted razors, and stop being such a pussy about that shit. And, why don't you just try it again? I don't know how you guys are fucking up so bad. How are you guys cutting yourself so bad? I've cut myself, like, maybe once or twice, and that was because I was in a hurry and I was mad.
Well, you'd have so much hair to cut through that it dulls the blade until it gets to your skin,
Yeah.
I started.
By the time it gets to your skin, the blade is like, oh, thank Christ.
Number 2, you got to pick up the slack.
I'm tired.
Number 2 is like, I've tapped out.
I'm already done.
Go to number 6. And then they have the aloe strip. Are you out of your fucking mind?
The aloe strip is such a fucking, like, marketing bullshit.
Not more marketing bullshit.
The aloe strip.
I love the aloe strip.
The animations for razor commercials are too, like, it looks so relaxing to use a razor for some. The animation, the CGI, like my skin. Oh, the aloe razor.
Right. Yeah. What he was talking about, the bending of the blade.
Bending of the blade.
Yeah.
I'm like,
oh, like
I love it until I use the razor.
Yeah, and then what? I mean, you look like a smoothly shorn.
I am a smoothly shorn.
Yeah. Mikey, you look like Mikey.
What do I look like?
Look, the Sultan of Swag.
Thank you.
Right,
Thank
and
you.
you're always put together. You shave. You're a guy who shaves.
Somewhat.
Yeah, right. And you don't use. Did you use the Mach 5?
No, I didn't use that yet.
So you ended up getting the Gillette razor in your target.
No, I got the other one.
You got the other one. Now, did the commercial play
I
a
think
part
Mach
in
5 was a different one, isn't it? Oh, then I got the Gillette.
Yeah.
you got the Gillette.
So the fucking commercials are working.
Yeah.
The brand loyalty is
So I'm
there
actually
for
on
sure.
Gillette's side right now.
All right, let's get back to this fucking commercial, all right? This boys will be boys, toxic masculinity commercial. So there's another bit of controversy in this commercial because they cut to they have this like wall of news reporters talking about the Me Too movement. The opening shot of that is from the Young Turks. And I think it's this chick on there who I don't know if this is true. I got to verify it.
I think it's this skirt on there. This chick on there. This broad.
That's not what I said.
Name.
I don't know what would you say. What's the right word to say?
Yeah.
Well, okay, you set it up.
This woman.
Yeah. Oh, that I got in trouble for saying that one time.
What?
Woman?
Yeah, woman. I got in trouble for that shit. I was in a meeting, right? In a meeting with like a bunch of
Well, you
marketers.
did say, "Shut up, woman."
That's true.
I sent an email. I won't say to who. I sent an email, and I was like, "Hey, who was that woman who had that really good idea?" Blah blah blah. And then it was forwarded to the executive team with the woman on there, and she just wrote back, "Woman?" ? And I'm like, "Oh fuck! What did I is that bad?" I don't mean it to sound diminutive because it wasn't.
Maybe lady next time?
I got in trouble. Who's the lady?
Maybe
No,
it was
maybe
something about that woman.
Who's the pretty lady?
Who's the gal?
Who was the?
Who's that hot dame on
Who's
the other
that
side
dame?
of the room?
Yeah. What would you say, Trump? What would you say? What's
I would say, who's that fine-looking piece of ass walking through those?
Okay, I don't
Who's
think
that
I can
chunky
say
monkey walking through those?
Chunky
doors?
monkey. That's even worse. But okay, so anyway, this woman from the Young Turks, allegedly, she's like she denies like the Armenian Holocaust. So that was like one of the shots in this Gillette ad. Now, the problem with this Gillette ad, I think that a lot of people have, myself included, and I'm more nuanced on this. I don't think that it's like a bad commercial per se, but I'm not sure it's the right commercial to make, or it's their mission, or it feels a little disingenuous, and I'll say why. It's because they're not heralding the virtues of masculinity. They're not saying this is the best a man can get. We know that rapists and fucking murderers and bullies are not the best a man can get. So their disingenuous rhetorical question at the top of the commercial, is this the best a man can get? No, nobody is saying that. Nobody is saying this is the best a man can get. In fact, you're showing the very worst. Why not just have a fucking Gillette commercial with a bunch of fucking pedophiles and like murderers and people assaulting people and just like robbing purses? Is this the best a man can get? It's like, no, fucking obviously not. What, Ron?
Okay, here's the problem. Fucking dudes can't take a note.
That's
They
not true.
cannot take a fucking note. You try and say one thing, we're like, let's look at what the core of this commercial is saying. Like, hey, maybe don't be like shitty all the time. Like at its core, it's like, maybe don't be shitty. And it's like, I watched the commercial and I was like, oh, it's fine. It came into my life. It went out of my life. And then I saw the blowback that it got and it blew my fucking mind. Because at its core, it was saying, hey, maybe we could just be a little bit better sometimes. And you try and give like a dude a note and they lose their goddamn mind.
Okay, look, I hear this all the time, and it's a message that's permeated our culture. Nobody is saying this shit, right? Nobody's saying we should go out and bully and be assholes and jerks to one another. But is it their place to tell us this message? I mean, ultimately, that's a good message, right? Don't bully.
It's one of those things like I don't give a shit. Like, is it their place? So what? So it's like, so now it's like we either like rage on these fucking soulless corporations. All they're out to do is make money. And then you have a corporation come out who's like, hey, maybe we could be nicer to one another. It's like, fuck you. Don't tell me what to do. Right. So it's like, which one is it? Like, if they try and be good, it's like, well, they're being disingenuous. And it's like, well, at least they're fucking trying to nudge the world into a better place. Even if it comes from a disingenuous place, even if they're just virtue signaling to make money, I don't give a shit. If it makes people think about their actions even slightly, and I think it will because people are so fucking pissed off about it, which, by the way, if you're this angry about this ad, it's because you're examining things you've done in your own life that maybe you're not that proud of.
Wrong. 100% wrong. I'll tell you why. It's the exact opposite, because I feel like it's impugning men in general. How about this for a commercial? All right? You open up with a shot of Neil Armstrong.
Fuck yeah.
Stepping on the moon, right?
God damn it.
And then Martin Luther King's speech. And then maybe, I don't know, like some Gandhi shit. Maybe like
Can we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Duncan?
something.
Okay.
You know, like a Babe Ruth hitting a home run.
NASCAR coming around the bend.
Right.
Yeah. And then
have a dude inventing something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
Beautiful
Einstein.
mind that shit.
Great. You have some beautiful. All right. You have those opening shots of like literally the best a man can get. And then.
Well, and he's fucking a woman and she orgasms.
And then.
On purpose.
Yes.
and then cut to, right? Then you maybe cut to a bunch of bullies with a kid in a headlock and be like, we can do better. Let's strive to be these type of men, right? Let's be this guy.
I'm not arguing. That's a great commercial.
That's a great
man.
commercial.
That's a great commercial.
That's a positive message. It's like here's what you should do rather than
Go
what
on
you
the
shouldn't
moon.
do. It's not like a no. It's like don't fucking condescend to your audience. That's what it is. It feels super condescending.
Well, but it's like, okay, but all this shit that in that ad, that shit happens all the fucking time.
How often?
I don't know. Remember that video that woman had where she was walking around New York and she just got catcalled?
Oh, let's talk about this shit. Because I got the top comment on that video. I have the top comment on that video. Yeah, it's got like thousands of upvotes because I called out that video. Let's talk about this. There's a catcalling video in New York a little while back, and I had a huge problem with this. Look, catcalling is shitty. You shouldn't do it. It's disrespectful. I've been with women when they got catcalled, and it made them feel like shit. And I felt like shit too. Because I'm like, this. You shouldn't feel bad just because you want to go about your day. And I know women who've changed their routes to work, the way they walk, the way they dress, because the shit happens. It's bad. But that fucking video, she walked around for 10 hours, and she cut out of that video. Of those 10 hours, she had maybe, I think all throughout the day, she had something like, I don't know, like 30, 40 catcalls in a 10-hour period. And she only got catcalls. They found.
So what are you saying? Like, that's
like
okay?
a fuckload.
In 10
that's
hours?
a lot. Yeah.
That's less than one per hour.
How
That's
many,
like,
if you walked around a city, how many catcalls would you get in that same time period?
I've gotten catcalled.
Would you get 30 to 40?
30 to 40
30
in a
to
10-hour
40?
day?
I don't know. It was something, but the way
Also,
she
that's
get,
like
like,
3
two.
or 4 per hour.
But the
Let's
guys
do
who
the
are
math on it.
hold on, but it's not done. The guys who were catcalling her were sitting around in fucking lawn chairs on a sidewalk. They were like unemployed, and she kept walking around the same like block in what's the rough area in New York?
New York.
No.
Right.
What? No, it's
Queens. Bronx.
Trump Tower.
No, it's the
Brooklyn.
it's the New York version of Compton. It was in Die Hard.
Staten Island.
Brooklyn,
No, it's not Brooklyn.
Midtown
What is it?
Manhattan.
The Bronx? No.
Bronx,
Queens.
Brooklyn,
what's
Queens,
Queens?
Brooklyn,
People are shouting. at
Tribeca.
their-
Jersey.
It was some rough area where she just kept walking. So she was walking around
kidding.
like when she walked around Wall Street, she got 0 catcalls, like 0 to 1. And then when she went to this like really poor neighborhood where like a bunch of homeless people are standing around, yeah, she got catcalled.
Yeah, and you know what those people shave with? Gillette.
I feel like you're trying to make some kind of indictment on the poor and homeless population that maybe you're like accidentally stumbling into here.
Look, I know I'm putting my foot in my mouth for this episode. I know I'm gonna get my ass chewed out.
For me, it's just one of those things. Like I just don't understand the rage. I am having trouble understanding. Like, okay, what's the big deal that this company decided to say, hey, maybe like even if you don't understand like the way it was done, like where is the I don't understand it. Like I want to know like where's the rage coming from on this?
Harlem. Someone in the chat room, Dr. Hitmonkey said Harlem. That's the place.
Yeah,
I'll
we
tell
missed
you.
that
I'll tell you where the rage is coming from. It's like we've heard this message before. We hear it constantly. It's tired. Like we're just tired of hearing this.
You know what though? Like there's so many times. I'm sorry, TJ, you go ahead.
No, well, I was just going to say to your point, like, I think it's very clear to me, and like, you clearly, Maddox, don't fall under this category. You're kind of playing devil's advocate here because you're saying things like, I've been with a woman, we, walked around, she's been catcalled,
Right,
I understand this whole thing. This commercial is like not for you. It is for the demographic of people that take crazy offense to this, that look at this sort of thing. What the fuck is like? That's who. I mean, I don't necessarily think that Gillette is targeting them as potential buyers because they're probably never going to have a chance. But that's who you're addressing as the problem. It's not every man. It's like these men, and there's unfortunately a larger swatch of them than we've probably been aware of until somewhat recently.
Okay, so
you know what I mean?
If that, I agree. That's the audience, right? The guys who are like super upset and triggered. And by the way, as much as like I'm arguing this position here, I don't think anyone should get that worked up over a commercial because who cares? It is ultimately at the end of the day a commercial, and it got its job done. Now Nike kind of did this not too long ago with Colin Kaepernick, and that was them throwing their weight behind a person who I think genuinely and authentically came out with a legitimate complaint about police brutality in America. And he threw everything on the line. And Nike's like, yeah, you know what? We stand behind this message. We stand behind Colin Kaepernick. I think that was the right way to do it. What do you say?
But I also think that Nike had a clearer message as well.
That's right. They did have a clear message. It wasn't like, it wasn't a Nike commercial. It was like, is this the best whites can get? And they just show a bunch of cops like beating. Like, can you imagine that fucking commercial?
Oh my god.
That's a
no,
fucking
I get it.
horrible
I get it
commercial.
though. I get yeah.
It cuts to like a white guy pushing a black guy out of the way of the water fountain to the water fountain turning into like a fire hose going on protesters during the civil rights era.
That's art. That's the art you're talking
about.
Yeah,
like someone hopping on a bus and then like some white guy just pointing to the back of the bus. It's like, is this the best whites can? No, they said we support Colin Kaepernick. Yeah. That's a positive message. Mm-hmm. That's all I want Gillette to do is like give me a positive message because the people they want this message to land so fucking hard with the bullies, those assholes, those idiots. They're not fucking watching and
or
it's not.
Listening.
They're not here.
They're not
and they don't shave.
But like,
and they don't
They're
shave.
fucking neckbeards.
You have a point with that. The people who are doing this kind of behavior, yeah, but no ad is going to convince those people to stop. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the people in the middle of the road. You know, that's the argument that you're trying to get. The problem I have with like the whole like men's rights fucking assholes is that they want to play this part that they're being so put upon that all their power is being taken away from them. As a white male, it's still pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good gig.
I'm having a great time.
I've never been pulled
Like
over by
every
the police.
day.
I never get hassled.
Yeah.
Like nobody follows me around a shop when I'm shopping. Like all these people are like complaining. I'm like, yeah, things are pretty much still in our favor. That's kind of the way the world is. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's kind of fucking wrong. But like, it's just like, nobody ever owns up to it that it's like, oh yeah, we do have a little bit of privilege, and like nobody ever likes to like admit their privilege.
Well, okay, but to what end? Like, let's acknowledge that because there is some, you can't deny that you do have some benefits in society by being white and by being male. And if you don't believe that, just ask someone who says, oh, I don't think that I have any advantages. Ask them if they would trade their position with a black woman. Like, is that what you like? Would you, if you had the opportunity to be reborn, would you be reborn as a black woman?
Only
These
if
guys
it's
all say
Oprah.
no. Oh, if it's Oprah.
Right.
Yeah, if it's Oprah or Queen Latifah. Otherwise, I'm out.
Yeah, those are that checks out.
Yeah, that's
those are
pretty
accurate.
much it. Yeah.
So I acknowledge that, but then acknowledging your privilege, like it feels like the way people use that today is like a cudgel to make someone feel bad, rather than a tool to help them like further some positivity. What is the positive message from this? Because that Gillette ad, ultimately,
So is it more that you're angry with the way in which the message was presented rather than the message itself?
Yes, absolutely. Because the message itself is a good one. Let's not
be a
bully each other.
shithead.
Don't be a shithead. That's a great message.
I mean, also the second half of the, it gives you the setup of like, here's all the shitty examples, and then the second half is showing them being amended. So I mean, it's not like it's
like a
not
dad
there.
walking with his son across a crosswalk.
Yeah, and then also that part's kind of funny because the adult man kind of like fends off some young bullies, which like ultimately is like, it's a teaching lesson. Like, don't do that, kids. But he's also like sort of fighting children.
Yeah, but it's awesome if he shows up, takes off his shirt, and was like, "You want to fucking go? Fucking go!
See what a fucking bully is?
You want to fucking fight?
I weigh
Let's have
twice
a
as much
fight."
as you.
He just takes off his belt. He's like, "Oh, you can still wear a belt." He's like, "You fucked up," and he like switches it to the metal side first. He's like, "I'm gonna fuck you up." Oh my god, that would be the fucking ad.
Yeah. No, I do like that. There's those moments in the ad where you had the guys intervening with a kid being bullied. I like that. That was a very positive message. That was cool. That was great. And then, like, beyond that, I don't know. It felt very negative. It didn't make me feel good. It didn't make me feel like.
But I don't think was this ad supposed to. I think the purpose of it is supposed to make you examine yourself and kind of feel bad. All over things that you've done in the past. Listen, nobody's fucking perfect. We've all done shit that we're not proud of. And I think it makes you... Son of a bitch.
Yeah, gotcha.
But like, okay, I want to know on a grander scale, should companies be doing this? Like, what happens when there's a company? I went to the liquor store to get a bottle of whiskey, and I was going through the whiskeys. I wanted to try something new, not just get Bullet. And I found this one bottle that was like Second Amendment whiskey, and it was like an Uzi on it. And I turned it around, and it was like whiskey distilled for men who like the Second Amendment and aren't afraid to use it. And it was like this like politicized, and it felt me weird. I'm like, oh my god, they're like politicizing like whiskey.
I mean, you bought it, right?
But then I donated it. So no, but it's like should companies like, is that because you could say, oh yeah, the Gillette thing's okay because you agree with the message, but what about when all of a sudden a company comes out with a message you don't agree with? Like, should companies be doing this kind of like, some say virtue signaling, other people say standing up for what's right, whatever. Like, is this something that we want to have so now capitalism is now we're like kind of voting with our dollar over which companies we feel like are performing morally and ethically? Where do you see this going?
I'll say this, man. I think that ultimately there's so much going on here that people are tired of, which is, first and foremost, we're all tired of politics. You can't turn on social media. And I'm guilty of this myself. Lately, I've been getting political. I've been shitting on Trump a lot, and I've been shitting on the wall and throwing my hat in the ring there. And I love it. It's fun. But then, like, people are so fucking tired of politics.
You're just like, hey, man, do you want to go get Chick-fil-A? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
You want to eat at Chick-fil-A? And you're like, God damn it.
It's
because they had their whole like anti-gay thing and they're closed on a Sunday, and it would turn into this thing like eating a fried chicken sandwich or shopping at Hobby Lobby. Man, like, it's like now is every fucking time I buy anything, is that now going to be a goddamn statement?
Yeah, do you have to know?
I mean, we're getting older too, and New Balance, I think, is still off the table. Like, we're going to have to wear them shits. We're getting to that age.
Wait, what's the New Balance?
I think New Balance also has like a homophobic agenda, something to that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an old one, but I'm pretty sure that's still on the table.
There's a Mexican restaurant in LA called El Coyote, and they supported the Prop 8 amendment a few years back, which was the anti-gay marriage legislation. And I haven't gone back since, and I like their chips and salsa. It's
Is that the only thing you like at El Coyote?
Yeah, they're not. It's not good food, but their chips and salsa are pretty delightful. You go there with a beer in the afternoon.
If you judge a restaurant based on how bad of diarrhea it gives you, El Coyote is the best.
Oh yeah,
There's something they use in their beans and their lard where I was like, Jesus, what are you doing down there?
Wow.
This place that has like fucking delightful chips and salsa. I haven't gone back.
12-year-old boy.
I just like the chips
I like
and
the
salsa.
chips and salsa.
It's really good.
The only thing I'll eat. Everything else is yucky.
Oh, my favorite food is mozzarella sticks.
I'm not like that, shitheads. I eat everything, but like the food there sucks. And then now because they hate the gays, I can't eat the chips and salsa. Right?
That's fair though, dude. You got to let that go. You've
I
got to
know,
let it go.
But it's like it's a little bit okay. Now I'm still buying Gillette razors. By the way, I support this company's. I'm not not crazy about the ad.
If I grew hair like you, I'd say all razors are on the table. You just got to buy all of them.
You're like Tim Allen in Santa Claus after he shaves.
What a reference.
I need razors where I can get them.
Dude, yeah. I wish you had like sort of an Edward Scissorhands kind of thing going on, and then you could take care of yourself.
Well, look, I still buy Gillette razors. I still buy Gillette products. I don't
Do you
care.
think you could grow a turtleneck like of hair? Like, can you
the way
connect it if you just let it go?
Probably.
Because I see it creeping up out of your shirt right now, and I definitely see it coming down from your
Yeah,
neck.
I mean, we've been live for 30 minutes or something, and it's coming out of the shirt collar.
Yeah.
It wasn't there at the beginning.
Do you think you could actually connect it?
Oh man,
Because I know you could connect the unibrow.
okay, you know.
Because you've done that before, where you've grown a unibrow.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
You have it's like you have a superpower that doesn't matter. You know, like it's like the world's useless superpower. You could grow like hair.
Ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen,
he kind of raises his hands.
I was thinking about
Become unibrow. Just wait like 5 days. Unibrow. Like, yeah.
I was thinking of the world's most useless superpower, and I figured mine out would be I can't smell. That would be my superpower. Be like, I can't smell.
there are people who who can't smell.
That's a
real
good,
thing.
but it's a good thing. You're saying in bad
Tells me.
situations, right?
Yeah, like I think, but it's kind of like a power, but not only because I have an awful sense of smell, and I honestly can't smell many
Yeah, I
things.
have a really bad sense of smell too.
Really?
I have a bad sense of smell.
I just wonder if it's
we should
just
hang out.
allergy.
I have a normal sense
Man,
of smell.
this podcast just got lit.
Yeah, from roasting my ass. You guys, this turned into an impromptu Maddox roast on this podcast. Holy
Hey,
shit!
Maddox, I just want to say I'm back in the room and I have something to say. I saw this video, Maddox. I got something to say about it.
Oh yeah, Donald Trump. What do you have to say?
I saw this video, Maddox, and I liked it.
You like this video?
I liked how much I hated this video.
Oh, dude.
Oh.
Mr. Trump, do you shave?
Of course I do. I shave every day. I have a guy for that. His name's Julio Juave Igniego.
That sounds made up.
Okay, I made that one up. But
I almost called you Dr. Trump.
I
Do you
shave
prefer
every day.
doctor or
Maddox, look,
Goodness, God,
don't beat around. Don't beat around my bush or your own bush, Maddox. What I'm saying is, I don't like it. Okay,
You don't
I
like
don't
the
like
ad.
progress. I don't like change, unless the change is on the avenue that I'm dancing on.
Okay.
I gotta go, Maddox. I got
All
a lot
right.
of stuff to do.
Peace, Trump. Dr. Trump, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
I'm afraid like it is the kind of thing like I feel like in the future this is going to get more popular. There are many companies that take a stand because they've done the fucking accounting, you know? They've looked at the bottom line and they're like, oh, the amount of blowback we're going to get from first of all, it's going to put our name everywhere. There's going to be a bunch of people who like us. There's going to be a bunch of people who hate us, but the people who like us are going to spend more money. So let's do it.
You mentioned the
It's going to be exhausting.
Yeah, the Kaepernick thing with Nike. I was reading about this the other day. It worked.
Yeah.
Sales
Oh,
went
really?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Well-
it was an effective campaign that boosted
So if
sales.
that works, now Gillette's trying it, and let's see if it's going to work. More companies are going to do it, and it's going to get to a point where maybe we're going to reach a critical mass, and it drives crazy. But in the end result of this is like everyone's going to just continue to be exhausted.
Wait, we can have...
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Real quick. Nike. It's not like Nike sales were down when
Right,
they did it.
no.
It wasn't like they were like, man, we can really capitalize on Kaepernick right now. It was more like they took a responsible approach at addressing something important that was almost getting quieted by the NFL. So I think it's important to remember that Nike was like that cool kid who helps up the nerd who just got beat up or something. Or not that he's the nerd, but I'm saying they didn't need it, but they gave what they could in the right way,
Yeah,
I think.
I
I think that they were like that cool person
Right.
that was like, I can give and I don't need to get anything, but it's because it's right. That's what I think.
I think that both Nike's message and Kaepernick's message aligned, and it was overall positive one. People disagreed with it. I mean, that's controversial, like
That's
for
how it goes.
for a certain segment of the population, because they, in a smaller but similar way, I think people feel that if you protest by kneeling during the national anthem, that's disrespectful towards the flag and the country, right? But what is in that sense, like, what is the right way to protest?
Yeah.
Like, Kaepernick just took a knee. Sure. If you have a riot, that's fucking wrong, obviously.
Yeah, and then they're like, just sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
And then they did. And then they're like, fuck you too.
Well, yeah, why did you do that?
And then people were like, well, we're just going to stay in our locker rooms during the national anthem. It's like, you can't do that either. You have to come out. It's like, well...
It's a very controlling thing.
Yeah, are you guys for free speech? The free speech warriors. That's what I'm calling them
now. It's more free speech that you're for.
Exactly. The free speech warriors.
Yeah.
So this is the right, or the right of center version of the SJW. So the SJW's far left, social justice warriors. Now you're starting to see free speech warriors who claim to be for free speech, but they're fucking not. They're only for free speech that they agree with. Because the second you burn a flag, the second you protest our troops, the second you protest the president, you better stand up. You better stand right up. You better support our gun. You better
support our integrity.
Yeah, man.
I what I do actually kind of like is that I do hate those ads that come out. There's I guess toxic masculinity, I guess, is the buzzword for it. But do you guys remember an ad for Hungry Man TV dinners?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know if I've talked about this before, but I think about this ad all the time where they're packing sandbags onto in the rain onto a river, and a guy's like, "What'd you have for dinner last night?" And he's like, "I had 2 pounds of chicken, some mashed potatoes, gravy, and some corn," and it was like a Hungry Man dinner. And then they asked the other guy, who's like, "What'd you have for dinner?" He's like, "Oh, I had a small piece of fish and a kale salad," and then he gets blown away by the wind. And I fucking hate that they turn Hungry Man dinners. The ad could have ended with Hungry Man dinners. Eat it, faggot. Like, it was just so aggressive, and I'm like, why is that the manly thing? And then
it fucking is, bro.
But you look at a Hungry Man dinner. Remember, my mom is a registered dietitian. She's worked in the industry for 52 years, so I think about shit like this. But the sodium levels it was like 260% sodium. It's like eating a fucking heart attack. Yeah. And that's the manly thing that you gotta do. It's like they try and turn like vegetables into I was once on tour, and I asked a guy in a restaurant, I was like, "Hey, do you have recycling?" I had a plastic water bottle. I went, "Do you have recycling?" And he went, "What?"
Yeah, like
he's like, "You're not from around." It was like one of those things, like, I'm not gay because I want to recycle. Because I want to recycle a plastic bottle means I want a dick in my mouth.
Was it El Coyote?
You should see if you can get their chips and salsa on Postmates.
Nope. Well, I still won't support them.
Okay.
Don't
support it.
Yeah.
But.
Okay, well, look, guys. Here's the thing. Okay, let's say that we're all tasked. Gillette comes up to us and we're like, "Here is $2 million. We want you to make a commercial. All right, you can spend that money however you'd like." And you're like, "You know what? Let's think about the brand of Gillette. It's about the best a man can get." Would you sit down and if you look at just throughout history, all the men throughout history, the worst and the best people throughout history, a lot of them were men. Like the worst in history were men, and some of the best were men. Why spotlight the worst? Because obviously that's not the best a man can get. And were they trying to be ironic? Were they trying to be cheeky? What was the message here?
Are you just pissed that they didn't put you in the ad?
Yeah,
I would like it. I would
call them. We could see if we could get you.
You guys get me in that
It
ad?
was written by a woman, and I think people are losing their mind over that too.
Really?
Yeah, it was.
No, there's no way
I
it
don't
was
see
written
why it
by
matters.
a woman. It was written by a
team, but it was like I guess the head of the team was a woman who she did some other like kind of big ads. I mean, I guess if an ad is judged based on the being consumed and being talked about, I think the ad was incredible.
It was a huge success.
It was a huge success. But I understand the point you're making. It's like if you want people to do the right thing, maybe
show them,
highlight the right thing more.
Yes.
Show them the right
thing. Show them the right thing.
I think that's a fair critique. I can understand that critique.
So maybe this is an editing issue. Because, I mean, it is in there. You know what I mean? Like, it concludes with them.
But I love the violin score that they put on. Man, you could put that music over you opening, like, a carton of milk, and it's the most inspirational fucking moment.
Yeah.
Like, that music does so much of the heavy lifting. Like, just that, like, violin that goes underneath.
Yeah. especially near the end of the ad. I mean, they do try to like end it on kind of an uplifting note. I
should do that. I should make a little video using that score and like just putting peanut butter on a piece of toast. And like build up any moment.
Not even just like getting ready to put the peanut butter on the toast. That's like too exciting.
Can we give a shout out to Ron's videos? Ron, you made this video a while back, an advertisement for what, your Jeep?
Oh, my Honda CR-V.
Your Honda CR-V.
Oh,
Ron, these hilarious comedy
I make
videos.
one a year, baby.
They're so
That's
fucking.
my YouTube.
And you made one about a plant, like house plants.
That one gets fun. Yeah, I just made a plant video about how you treat plant A and plant B. Yeah. Like I was nice to plant A, and then I was a psychopath to plant B. Like really fucked up. Like watching it, you ever rewatch a video and then you're like, God damn, that was a little fucked up because I'm holding like a power saw up to plant B, and I have my face covered in fake blood, and I'm screaming at it, and then I cut to like plant A, and I'm like, I'm drawing it and I'm talking to it, but I still get comments in that video at least one a week that people are like, I don't like what you did to plant B. Like, people are really like, this is super fucked up.
Yeah.
And in their defense, it's a little fucked up.
Yeah. It's Ron's videos are super funny. I'd watch that peanut butter commercial. But anyway, guys, we should wrap this debate up. But this has been a really fun one. I really enjoyed this. So I will say this, like my true opinion, because sometimes I'll argue the other side of the debate. My true opinion is, I think, I do see both sides of it. I do see that people on the right are pretty upset at this commercial because I think they feel that it's condescending and it showcases the worst a man can be rather than the best. And people on the left can't acknowledge that, and people on the right can't acknowledge that the message here is a good one. It's don't bully, don't be an asshole, don't be don't sexually harass, don't do these bad things.
Don't be an asshole and buy some Gillettes.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
That's what the message really is.
And it seems like neither side is willing to budge and see the other side's point of view. And that's what's the most annoying thing about this. And I'm just so fucking exhausted of politics. I just want to go to this, like, get my chips and salsa and not have to worry about like their fucking gay bashing agenda.
I mean, it really comes down to though, like they always say like you vote with your dollar, and I think that choice is becoming more and more transparent. Where before it was kind of hidden, and now you're starting to understand, like, no, this is what your dollar goes towards. And it's exhausting, but I do think in the long run, it does have impact.
People, look, my hope is this commercial does have some positive impact in the world. And if it does, you know what? I'll eat my words.
I think anytime, in a way, I always kind of feel like I feel like you can't make massive changes in the world because we were talking about this before the podcast. Me and Anthony were like, you can't make massive changes in the world because by very definition, you're going to like piss off the other 50%. And you're just going to, people are going to freak out, and you're never really going to get the change you want to see because the other half is always going to try to tear down that change. I think what you do is you just kind of nudge things, these little baby steps so that people kind of acquiesce to it.
And this commercial, it's not its job, but it's kind of a nudge.
It's kind of a nudge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I get it. It's kind of annoying, and it's like the way in which they presented it. But for me, it also doesn't, I don't know, maybe it just doesn't piss me off the way people are getting pissed off about it. I just don't see it's like it's the same people pissed off at this commercial are the same people who got pissed off that they did an all-female reboot of Ghostbusters.
Right.
Where I'm just like, don't watch the fucking movie.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch the movie.
You've got a choice
like, why
here.
is the...
Actually, yeah, and
I don't understand it.
Speaking of like the choice of things, and I know I think we're wrapping things up here. Is that the idea?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking a second ago, a major competitor of Gillette, Schick. What direction should they go, and what might their new slogan be?
You got a dick? Shake with shit.
Yeah.
Schick is really capitalized. Oh, actually,
Schick is now for shaving your pussies.
Yeah, right.
Awful fucking thing.
Yep, exactly.
Don't shave your pussy with a Schick.
There you go.
The Dollar Shave Club has, I think, if this tweet was genuine, I think they've been capitalizing on this. They just put out a tweet. They said, "Welcome to the club." I think that's all they need to do is be like, "Hey guys, welcome." And they could even support Gillette's ad 100%, as long as they shut the fuck up. They're gonna clean house.
You know what? It comes down to like when not getting behind a social cause is good for business. That's when they'll stop doing this. You know what I mean? Like, this will be the soup du jour unless it stops making money, and then they'll stop.
That'll be really interesting to see what happens with their sales and their stocks. Because here's the thing. If all these people, like 500,000 people voted this up, right? If those people go out and vote with their dollars and actually, show a net positive return for Gillette, not only will you have proven Gillette's mission, but you will also encourage other companies to do the same. So if you guys actually believe in this mission, if you think this is a good ad, go out and vote with your dollar, buy some Gillette razors, because it'll be really interesting to see what happens. But I will say this, and my final note on this, it is so hilarious watching the people protest this commercial by throwing the razors in toilets.
I know.
Oh my goodness!
And there's another video
burning them.
Yeah, burning the razors.
Burning
it's metal.
them. It's metal.
It's metal. What are you
It just
do?
Are
doesn't.
you thinking about your
You
pipes?
just get it real hot,
Or-
and then you can't touch it for a while.
Yeah. There's also a video where a guy threw his Gillette razor into a turned-on food disposal. And
Oh my God.
you hear the thing rattling for a second, and then you think, oh my, how's this going to end? What's he going to do? And then in the video, he reaches for it, and then the video cuts. And you're thinking, okay, this has got to be like a fake. He probably like turned it off before he went in. Then his wife, allegedly, I'm not sure if this is real, but his wife posted a picture. They're like, guys, please stop encouraging him. Please stop. It was a picture of the sink with like blood around it. And she goes, please stop encouraging him. He's
just
actually
touched it. He probably just touched part of the razor.
Yeah, because it wasn't a ton of blood, but it was enough that like, oh, if you touch the tip of your fingers, you're gonna get cut.
Well, a guy who's dumb enough to make something like that would touch that part of the razor.
But totally. Well, but the food disposal was running too the whole time.
Right, exactly. That's the thing. Yeah.
oh.
So there's no
Yeah, I
stump
get it.
pick.
Yeah, there's
I
some stuff,
gotcha.
Yeah. But my favorite thing still, by far, is the guy who threw it in his toilet, because everyone's roasting him so hard. They're like, idiot, you can't flush that razor down the toilet. You're gonna just have to reach into your.
Is that how you throw away your razors?
No way. No way.
That wasn't a protest video. That
Oh.
was just him filming himself getting rid of the razor
my
like
gosh.
he normally does.
There's your fucking Gillette ad. It's just a picture of that razor in the toilet and says, "Is this the best a man can get?" Like he should probably just missed his garbage can. All right, guys, that's it for this debate. This has been a really fun one, really hearty one. I feel like we really looked at both sides of the issue. Vote on madcastmedia.com. We'll have the results next week, but we should get a recap of last week's debate, and we've got a Babcock tip, and then we got some voicemail and quick news headlines. The last week, though, we debated what our New Year's predictions were for 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And we had our audience vote and weigh in on these. And coming in dead last, I believe this was Dreadmere's pick. There would be a new social media network. All right. So that was dead last.
Damn it, Dreadmere.
Yeah. Followed by people will start eating bugs. That was yours, Ron.
Oh.
History's going to prove me right.
I think you're right, actually.
It's on the
I agree
vegan
with that.
vibe.
11 months, man.
Yeah. But there was someone did post in Maddox University.
I saw that.
You saw that?
Saw
the
that.
bug,
Yeah,
the
it's on
bug
that
article?
article.
Yeah. And by the way, Ron, we got a bunch of comments on your Babcock tips and people asking about those financial books.
Hey,
so we got some
all
voicemail.
right.
Yeah, coming up on that.
Shit's working.
Yeah. Then second place was Facebook will fall off. That was Kirk Wilcox's prediction. You don't think so?
No.
Mikey?
No.
Why not?
Because I just think it's a powerhouse, and they're starting their video streaming stuff now where people can. Okay, does little inner Mikey believe that it'll fail? Yes, of course. But from what I've seen not fail and it should fail.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point.
That's a perfect
Yeah.
way of putting that, man.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
guys, the number one prediction from last year that everyone agreed with was Star Wars will fuck off, and that was mine. Yeah. Yeah, Star Wars will finally fuck off. Oh, I'm so tired of that shit.
No more Solo.
I can't wait for people to be so burnt out with time. I want people to be as burnt out with Star Wars as I am with politics. That'd make me so happy.
I'm sick of both. If someone wants to talk to me about Star Wars and politics, I'm equally not in the mood.
The Venn diagram of that, the politics of Star Wars is the worst. I would sooner like kamikaze myself out like into a wall at a party before I finish that conversation.
We want to talk about Star Wars or politics, Trump or
Right,
Full
and
speed.
in the middle of the Venn diagram is just a coffin.
Yeah, it's a coffin-shaped intersection.
Maddox's funeral.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, we should get to the Babcock tip. Ron, what do you got for us this week?
Hey, have I done the club soda and bitters trick?
No.
I haven't told you guys that one.
What is that?
All right, so this is a tip I do to kind of keep me. One, it keeps me from drinking too much, and two, I've already spoiled it, but it saves a little money. So whenever I first get to a bar, the first drink I always get is a club soda and bitters. Now, everybody drinks club soda with lime, if you're not drinking, but nobody ever fucking puts bitters in it. I don't understand why. Club soda and bitters is the best. I got turned onto it when I worked at a restaurant, and I came in super hungover, and the bartender's like, oh man, just drink some club soda and bitters. And I was like, what is that? And she's like, just drink it. And so it's awesome. It's like it's like fun water, you know? And then, it's a little thing you put in drinks. There's a tiny little bit of alcohol in it. Very
right?
infinitesimally small. But what I do when I go to a bar, the first drink I get is a club soda and bitters. And I drink that. And then that just kind of, A, it keeps me from spending money. And B, in LA, you drive everywhere. So it keeps you from having, what I do is I end up having 2 beers, which is what you should have, rather than 3 or 4 beers, which is what you definitely shouldn't have, especially when you're driving home.
Right.
So I always just do a club soda and bitters trick as my first drink, and then that saves me some money and doesn't get me as drunk.
Okay.
Now, if I'm not driving, that goes out the window.
Of course, yeah.
Then maybe it's the last drink because you just can't take anymore.
Yeah, or but it's better. It's it's just better. Like nobody wants to be the guy drinking fucking water, and you drink club soda, and you're like, yeah, it's fine. But I swear, the club soda and bitters, it's actually really good.
So ignorant question: what are bitters? Because I always get them in drinks, and I like them. But what is it? Like a cherry or something?
It's like an aromatic kind of.
Yeah,
like concentrated.
That's how I describe it because I don't know.
Yeah, I forget. I actually don't.
It's technically a liqueur, I think.
Is
also, I'm pretty sure that the classic rule is that it's not a cocktail unless it contains bitters.
Interesting. Bitters. I didn't know that. I didn't know any of this.
Can I ask something, Ron?
Yeah.
In terms of power of alcohol, where does it stand on the alcohol scale?
It's so infinitesimally
really
small. Low. Yeah, I mean, it is like it's barely. So anything.
Is it like stretching,
like
or is it actually like warming up?
It is not. It is like thinking about going to the gym.
Thinking.
Oh.
Got it.
A bitters is traditionally an alcoholic preparation flavored with botanical matter so that the end result is characterized by a bitter, sour, or bittersweet flavor.
Okay.
So it's just like kind of like a little...
Still don't know what that is.
It's it just makes fun water.
Yeah.
But it's my jam, man.
All right,
Nice.
I'll try it. Maybe I'll try it at a bar, but probably not. Here's because I want to drink.
Hooked on Montana in the chat room said it is like drinking vanilla extract. Not entirely wrong, but I mean, hey, vanilla extract is pretty good. Tastes like vanilla extract.
Actually, and that does have a little bit of alcohol in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's exactly right.
Also, Hooked on Montana in the chat room said that they're working on a drop for the Babcock tip, and I'm super excited to hear a Babcock tip drop.
Yeah, we can't wait to hear that. And also we got a voicemail, I think, from Hooked on Montana that I'll play in just a second. But the first voicemail this week, Ron, is about your Babcock tip. It's a criticism of your tip from last week.
Oh, no.
I don't even remember what it was. Shit, I do.
Yeah, listen to this.
Yeah, hi. I was just calling in to say that the Babcock tip last week is fucking bullshit. The dumbest Babcock tip I've ever heard. How is using one word instead of a resolution any different than just having an actual New Year's resolution? Saying your one word is dead just sounds a lot like having a New Year's resolution that is get myself out of credit card debt. And having another resolution, just the word consistency, it's just the same thing as having a resolution called be more consistent. All you're doing is just using one word instead of more and omitting the word resolution. The stupidest fucking Babcock trick I've ever heard in my life. Fuck Wales.
No, first of all, when you say debt, I meant debt not just in debt as in financial matters. So debts that you owe people personally, the things you said you were going to do.
Okay.
Or as an example, you could say, I'm going to work out every week this year. I'm going to work out 3 times a week every week this year. Well, the first time you don't do it, you failed. So, but if your word for the year is fitness, that's a more positive way of going into it.
Because then it encompasses nutrition too.
But point taken, he does have a little bit of a point.
Right.
The consistent, be more consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
Think about fitness.
Yeah.
Well,
excellent point, caller.
We got another voicemail here. This one's not for you, Ron. It is for Rod.
God, they fuck. Oh,
Rod's Babcock tips.
I hate when I get voicemails. They make me so nervous.
Hey, Rod. I just want to let you know I took your financial advice, your 5-part series, and I'm now a multi-millionaire. So I want to share $1 million of my wealth. All you need to say in this next podcast is yes. If you want $1 million, I will share my multitude of millions of dollars of wealth. So, do you accept my offer? Fuck Wales. Fuck Nazis. Fuck.
That's the voice. So it sounds like he was trying to troll you into saying any word.
Yeah.
And the only word he wants you to say on the next episode is yes.
Yes.
Now I definitely don't want to say that word.
Yeah.
I feel like
Ooh.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be cut out and put into something other. But then part of me is like, well, what if he has $1 million and he wants to share it with
Probably
me?
jerks off to you saying yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the debate should be yes versus no.
I'll take no.
Right. How about this? What if I write it down? Hold it up like this, and then he gives me $20?
Okay, I think you know what, caller, call in next week. Let us know if that counts because and this caller does have $1 million. I do believe the caller.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Someone who calls into this show. Yeah, and multi-million-dollar, willing to give one of those
one of
away.
the multi-millions.
Yeah.
Just for saying one word. Here's a voicemail about. So last week I talked about this medicine my dad used anytime he got like a cut or a wound or anything, a gash. It's called Corona, and it's a horse ointment that you use.
Oh yeah.
On horses. Yeah, I even linked to it on our website on Amazon. This guy called in and talked about what Corona is. This is Hooked on Montana. Listen to this.
Hey guys, two things.
Jesus Christ.
What Maddox is failing to mention is that Corona is just a brand of margarine, and that guy that got trapped in the Burger King bathroom chose to be trapped in there.
Yeah, so last week we talked about the guy who got trapped in a Burger King bathroom, and his reward for finally coming out, he was only in there for an hour. He came out and he goes,
I've been in the bathroom longer for an hour.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Hour.
Are you kidding me?
Kidding me? Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
if I'm
a
in
choice.
It's like the best part of my week.
if I'm in the bathroom for an hour, no one will even come looking. Like they're like, yeah, he's in the bathroom. Of course, he's
going to be another 20 minutes.
He's shaving. It's going to be at least 2 hours.
Don't like all these roasts.
Oh, very good.
Doopy Loops in the chat room says Rod Dadcock or Dadcock.
Somebody said somebody said when you roast Maddox, it smells like burnt hair.
Yeah, I saw that earlier. Doopy Loop says, who does that guy's production? Yeah, Hooked on Montana has the best. He's starting a podcast too. We'll talk about that.
Sounded amazing.
That
Sounds
voice.
incredible.
Is the dude from Earthworm Jim still in the live chat?
I don't know. I told him to text me. I don't know if it was him though, because like I've been on his show, but I don't know if it was him.
It's very specific for him to be in here, especially if he's been a guest. So I think that was him.
It could be, yeah. We got another voicemail. So this guy had a game recommendation. Have you guys ever played Cookie Clicker?
No.
Okay, don't. It will suck away a week of your life. It's a stupid web browser game where all you do is click on this thing.
I like web
cookies?
browser games though.
Yeah, cookies. And it's literally you. There's like a little bakery, and you click on it, and it's like, oh, you got one cookie. I'm like, huh, all right, now what? And then you click on it again. It's like, now you got 2 cookies. I'm like, all right.
God.
You click on it again. It's like, now you got 3. I'm like, all right.
Is it one of those never-ending games?
Is it
Yes.
like Bubble
It's
Pop?
like an
Rick and Morty?
MLM system. It's
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
It's like, you click one cookie and then you get 2 and then you get 2.
You get
All
2
you
and
need
then-
are, 10 cookies.
Now you
and
got
then you're
8
gonna be
cookies.
making a living on your
Well,
own.
then
No,
after,
there used to be like a rocket jump game I played where you just jump higher.
yeah.
It never ends.
Yeah.
It never ends.
Yeah, that's this cookie clicker game. So it starts out, so you get like 100 cookies, and you're like, oh, cool, what a kind. And it's like, well, you got 100 cookies. Now you can buy a grandma to help you bake cookies. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So you buy a grandma, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, grandma's making 2 cookies per minute. I'm like, wow, that's pretty good.
Oh, shit.
And then you get 2 cookies, but you get like a couple hundred cookies, and it's like, now you can buy a cookie factory. And they're like, oh shit, that's making 50 cookies a minute. I'm like, oh fuck, what's the next thing?
that's how
And
they
you
get
build
you,
like,
man.
then you build like a cookie farm. And then like a cookie warehouse.
You could have a cookie apron.
Yeah, and it just keeps growing. And then
I know
by
what
the
you
end
mean.
of this thing, like I played this thing like for weeks. And by the end of it, I had like a cookie universe. And it was alien planets and like weird cookie
And
vortex.
it all started with one cookie.
Yeah.
Right.
Always does, Ron.
And my whole point is I want people just to invest a little bit of the time they spend building their cookie universe into their actual investments.
Yes.
Like just that. Because remember the guy we had on the podcast who
Don't
like
see myself doing
remember
that.
the guy we had on the podcast who was really into Pokemon?
Yeah.
And he spent like $800 on Pokemon.
Yeah.
And I had the audacity to be like,
What if?
Yeah.
I'm still kind of hung up on the fact that you bought grandma. Like, I don't know a
Yeah.
lot about baking, but I just don't think you should purchase humans
Well,
to do it.
you do in this game, and then the grandma
you want to
turn
be
on
a
you.
fucking winner or not?
You're right. I'm sorry. I want that factory so fucking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zaxt in the chat room says Maddox enslaving grandmothers for his cookie addiction. Yeah, that's actually what. So there's kind of a story to the stupid cookie clicker game. Like the grandmas revolt at some point, and then they become like aliens, and you get like alien cookie makers. It's bizarre.
And
Anyway,
then there's
here's,
like a cookie ad that comes on. And it's like, is this the best grandma you can?
here's a voicemail about that.
Hey, Maddox, my name's Joe. I just wanted to tell you about a really addictive game. You can start playing Cookie Clicker and say goodbye to the next 6 months of your life. And if you really want to abandon your children, there's the next level up, which is Hero Clicker, which is even more addicting than Cookie Clicker.
Yeah,
good luck, man.
This shit is so fucking addictive. I don't recommend it.
You were playing it before you heard the voicemail?
Yeah, before I heard the voicemail,
Okay.
yeah. Like, I played it a long time ago, and I'm like, oh my god, there's another one of these, and it's even more
I got a
addictive.
no game on my phone rule.
This is a browser
Because
game.
I just was too far. I was too far deep, and now it's like nope.
He only got
You
the
had to
4
just
gig
throw the
iPhone.
phone away, get a new one, start fresh.
Yeah.
I was really good at ping pong on my phone.
Pickleball.
Not fucking pickleball.
Here's a voicemail about this guy has a prediction for a 2019 prediction. It's a weird one. I don't know how you can test this, but it's about hygiene. Listen to this.
Yeah, Maddox, what's going on? What's going on, Ron? I don't know who else is going to be on the show, but my 2019 prediction, there's a lot of shit going on, but I really think this is going to be more of a positive thing. I think a lot of people are going to start washing their fucking hands more. That's my prediction. I've been preaching it for a while. People need to learn to wash themselves, wash their ass, do all that shit. So 2019 is the year of hygiene for people, I believe.
I kind of like this.
Whales, have a good one.
Yeah, fuck
Dude, with the amount of flu that's been going around, and how people get sick, maybe it's like, I think you might have a point.
I hope.
I want to live in a world where this happens. Put it like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I would love that. I don't know if I don't know how you can test it. What, like flu rates go down? What?
I want to live in a world where there's a sign in bathrooms of like public establishments that says employees must wash ass before returning to work.
Wash your ass.
Can I tell you guys something I saw when I was in Scranton, PA? Went home for the holidays. My sister, we took our kids. We all went on a tour of Scranton, and because they all love The Office. Stopped at Cooper's Seafood. They had one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a men's bathroom. It was on the door. You know how you wash your hands, and then you go and you touch the handle. You open the door, and you're immediately fucking gross again because some asshole who didn't wash his hands before. They had this like hook thing that came out from the door. Imagine like kind of a horizontal L.
Yeah.
And it was a handless door opener, and you would just put your arm in it and open the door that way.
So you can get it.
I've never seen it before in my life, and I'm like, why isn't this thing everywhere?
So it acknowledged your existence and then opened with you?
Yeah, so you would put your hand in the middle of it, so you weren't using your hand to open the door. You use your forearm, your wrist.
Yeah.
And it was actually like, the way it was designed. It was like your hand just kind of slotted in, and it came out. It wasn't weird at all. Which I was like, I looked at it. I took a picture of it actually because I'm like, who knew Cooper's in Scranton, PA?
That's cool.
Fucking save us from Ebola virus.
Well, it wouldn't help me because I use my forearm.
Because your hairy arm wouldn't fit into it?
It wouldn't be able to acknowledge that there's an arm under it. It just kills all frequencies in the 2 mile radius.
I don't know what your family motto would be, but I'd like to think it would be my friend.
He's Armenian, you asshole. You don't even know.
Tonight? All right, we got another voicemail. This one's about Rucka's prediction from last year. All right, this guy thinks that Rucka had a prediction last year about it was intersectional feminism and the alt-right will have something in common. Like they'll have some stuff in common. Yeah, okay, really interesting. Listen to this. And there was an article that came out that Kirk Wilcox pointed out on January 4th
of this year.
So I'm saying disqualified, did not count. This guy's saying it should count. Listen to this.
Hey, Lord Maddox, it's me. I'm going to fight on the side of Rucka and say that he was right. And even though the article was published in 2019, I bet it was written in 2018.
Oh, shit.
Hashtag Rucka was right.
Oh, shit.
Doesn't
That's a
count.
good point.
Doesn't matter. When did it come out?
When was it?
Well, but it's talking about the commonality, whatever that is, that exists.
Yeah, but
so it would have existed in 2018.
But if you start running a marathon, an hour ago, and you finally pass it,
I want to see where this is going. So no, go ahead, Maddox.
Yeah.
We all started running a marathon an hour ago.
And you finish it in an hour. It's like, did you finish it an hour ago, or did you finish it when you fucking finished it? Right? Good fucking point. Real smart, Maddox. Point me.
I do my marathons in like a half hour.
This podcast is just going to end up just being you alone in a room responding. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Right.
Winner, smart.
He's got like a feeding trough.
Trump would agree with me, right?
No, I would not. I always agree with Ron Babcock.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Except for today, Ron Babcock.
Hey, by the way, I got the video. Here's the thing of the. This is the door opener.
Oh, we got a picture.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah,
Ron,
yeah.
I'm going to put this up
Put
on
that
the
on
live
website.
stream for those of you watching on YouTube.
put it on
But
the
it
website,
is,
too.
yeah, it does look like it's almost like a hook here.
Yeah, for those people saying use the paper towel, not all bathrooms have paper towel dispensers.
I
And
like
then have those awesome hand dryers that we debated the first time I was on your podcast.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like magnet and followed your arm open.
What? You have you metal in your arms? Or?
Not magnet, but like it's like how that thing at the airport spins around you really fast, and you just know it knows if there's stuff inside you, but you don't know what the science is.
What are you talking? What are they?
What I'm saying is, Ron, I thought you put it into a thing, and it goes, "Oh, there's an arm there," and it opens with you.
Oh my god!
Without
Why?
you, I thought it was literally a
No, man.
zero germ
Cooper's
thing.
Cooper's
so you're saying your
seafood-
forearm gets as dirty as your hand?
You know,
Yeah,
Cooper
see?
Seafood does not
So it's just
have
getting
Scranton doesn't have that technology.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
why I was like,
how about
whoa.
how about this? Instead of this fucking weird Roman arm lock thing they've developed, how about just doors that swing outwards and
No,
you just
that'd be good too. That would be good
Right.
too.
Just
Yeah.
pull it in.
Use your fucking
You
foot.
just push, or sometimes I'll do this if it's one of those swing handles. I'll use like my wrists or my elbow, and I'll hit it down. I'll kick it open. That's like a fucking.
That really does seem. I guess maybe doors more often than not don't open out as you're going in for like space,
Yeah.
maybe. But in a bathroom,
Yeah.
it should always be
push out,
pull to get in,
but-
push to get out.
I
yeah.
have so many thoughts on the bathroom designs in this country. For like airport bathroom design, there should be two entrances: one where you go in,
Yeah,
and
that
one where you
shit
go
is-
out. And it's all the same thing. And they just like you have a pillar in the center. You always go to the right. You
Right.
always go to the right. And then you get into the bathroom, and there's like this inch-long fucking gap between because we can't fucking make doors in this country that have seams. You know, like we could do it in the sky on airplanes. Those doors close, but you get to the ground, and all of a sudden you could see in and people. And I'm like, and you go to other. You ever take a shit in Japan?
Not yet.
It's fucking awesome. You get your own little poop closet. It's great. It's private. It's nice. And here, it's like they have this massive gap because they want to make sure people aren't fucking in and or doing drugs.
Right.
And I hate it.
Is that why it is?
Yeah, that's. I did research
Seriously?
into this. Yeah, because they want. It's like they don't want to give people too much privacy because they're afraid of like the messed up stuff that they're going to do.
If somebody
Like
looks
shit.
in, if somebody looks in, the worst thing that I'm ever going to do in a bathroom is take a shit,
And
it's
like it,
way
like
worse.
it's one that I'm like not proud of.
I
For
think
sure.
the
but,
worst
like,
thing you could do in a bathroom, Maddox, is if you shaved at the airport. Could you imagine if you walked into like LAX and you saw Maddox shaving at the airport, and you're like, dude, somebody call security.
I think it'd be a very normal thing to do, and I'd use it my Gillette razors to do it.
And you would
Right.
throw them away in the toilet.
There's a very hairless man and what I think used to be a dog on the counter. I don't know.
But by the time they get there to arrest him, he'd already grown all his hair back.
the perfect crime.
You said he was shaved.
You're like, no one will ever know.
Hey, I think for a debate, it should be what the perfect bathroom would be, like a public bathroom.
Oh man, dude,
That
Got
is.
some theories.
I like that you've got the entrance thing.
That's huge.
That's I've definitely like nearly. I'd say one for sure. Like kissed a man on the mouth on the entrance exit pathway of an airport because it's always such a tight squeeze and you're kind of in a hurry because you like have to pee because you just got off a plane or you're trying to
They
get
do
to the
these
baggage
right
and
angle
you just
things, and everybody's
Yeah,
got roller back.
yes.
You need to have
Yeah.
a curve.
yes.
I agree.
Bathroom design.
We could fix this.
Tune in next
Yeah.
week.
Tune in next week.
All right, we got one last voicemail. This is a positive one, Ron, about your recommendations. We'll listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. This is voicemail's actually for Ron. Just wanted to say I read that book twice that he suggested, and I recently invested in a low-cost index fund from
Nice.
Vanguard.
Oh
So,
my
yeah,
God.
great tips. Thanks a lot. Keep up the good work.
Holy
and
fuck!
Fuck Wales.
That's amazing.
Hey,
Dude.
yeah,
That's the
Ron,
best.
making a difference.
Can't believe that makes me so happy.
Yeah, and actually, he's not the only one. There's a guy on last week's episode, Ron. If you go to madcastmedia.com, there's a guy asking for the name of the book, and I said I would ask you. So,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, comment there.
The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins.
There it is.
I will, I'll post the things in the Facebook group, Maddox University
It's for
hot babes and
geniuses and babes who are geniuses
Yeah,
only.
that's-
Yeah.
But that makes me so happy. Thank you so much for letting me know that.
Yeah.
And now you
People
just got to do it for like the next 20 years and you'll be good.
People are listening. 20 years from now, it's like, how'd you get $1 million? I was like, well, I heard this podcast.
Yeah.
episode.
Oh, fuck millennials.
Yeah. Millennials.
I just said I just said a word into a camera, and then a guy sent me $1 million.
Oh, that's
how I got my
yes?
number.
Yeah, okay.
So.
All right, guys, it's time for some quick news headlines from around the web. This one actually did come from a suggestion from Maddox University. Guys, if you're not part of Maddox University, go to Facebook, type in Maddox University. It's the one that comes up. It says it's for geniuses and babes who are geniuses only, and I'm very strict with that. You got to be a genius or a babe.
You can get a BA and BS.
Very good, Mike. Yeah,
I we got that studio audience.
Yeah, this one's from a suggestion. He posted this like right before we went live. I'm like, that's a good story. I'm going to bring this in. It's Christian Baldenegro Barrera. Thank you, Christian, for this suggestion. He says, great tits are killing birds and eating their brains. Climate change may be to blame. Now, as soon as I saw this headline, I know what they're talking about. They're talking about tits, the bird. Tit birds.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very common.
But
I thought they were talking about tits.
Yeah, that's
No,
what
no, no.
I mean, that's why they wrote it this way.
Is that like a type of tit, like a bald eagle, like a great tit?
It's a great tit.
It's a great tit, yeah.
Okay.
It is. It actually is a great
It's an
tit.
honest question.
No, that's really the
Okay.
name. This article says recently is and the subtitle is
I mean, all tits are great, so it's kind of a
Well,
there's no, he's right. That checks out. Okay. You know what they say about tits. When they're good, they're good, and when they're bad, they're still good. That's what they say.
when they're bad, they still taste like pizza. Got it.
It's,
Is
that the pizza line?
It's the pizza line, like all pizzas.
I heard that
when
about-
it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's still pizza.
I thought that was the line about boobs. All
I
right.
mean, I think they both go for each other.
The subtitles: a bird murder mystery is solved. Oh, why didn't they call it a birder mystery? Because this is from popsci.com. You know it's from popsci.com.
Birder, she wrote.
Yeah, birder, she wrote.
Yeah.
Recently, some flycatcher birds, they're black and white birds called pied flycatchers, have arrived to find their nesting sites occupied by haughty territorial great tits.
Oh.
And those birds don't just chase flycatchers away. They brutally attack them, kill them, and then eat their brains.
Oh, jeez.
It's fucking zombie tits, man. Yeah, they're crazy tits.
Haughty territorial great tits.
Yeah.
What a beautiful string of words.
It really is. So that, you just want to like put that to music. Haughty territorial great tits.
hot toddy.
I feel like that'd become the kind of words you would use at to describe a wine tasting. You know, be like
Right,
you'd have a sip
right.
of a Cabernet, you'd be like haughty, territorial, great tannins.
Great cannon.
Love a beverage being territorial.
Yeah, you know what?
Territorial.
That's my prediction for 2019, that someone will use the word territorial to describe a wine. It's a fun word. Anyway, there's more to that story, but not really. It's just I just want to say great tits. Here's a story. This one's from Great Falls Tribune. It says Bozeman UPS driver saves dog from drowning in icy pond. This is this is from Bozeman. This is Montana, right?
Montana, yeah.
Bozeman, Montana. A UPS man recently braved an icy pond to rescue a young dog trapped in the ice. Ryan Aarons was en route shortly before Christmas when he rolled up to a house in the Johnson Road, 19th Street area and heard a dog in distress. The dog was screaming and crying and going crazy, he said. Hey, look at that dog over there in the frozen lake going crazy.
Was this dog a stray or was it a...
I don't know. It's just the sun was nearly gone. He didn't see anything. He delivered the package and drove to the other side of the pond. And he said, I could see the dog trapped about 10 or 15 feet off the shore with ice all around it. So it sounds like the dog was out in the middle of the lake or something and it broke and the dog fell in. An older man was in a rowboat on the pond. What the fuck was that older man doing? Why wasn't he saving this dog?
Why was he in a rowboat?
Why are we
On
still
a frozen
rowboats?
lake.
Yeah, on a frozen lake.
He's just sitting there
I'm
for
guessing
weeks waiting for somebody to come get him.
The story also doesn't mention he was also stuck in the lake.
Turns out he wasn't as cute as the dog, though.
Yeah,
No.
right.
The old man's like, help me. He says, trying with little success to chip away at the ice to reach the dog. Oh, I should have read the rest of the sentence.
Right. There you go.
He was in the lake with the... So he goes, I stripped to my boxers and got the guy out of the boat. In that order. That's weird. Then I slid the boat out onto the ice, using it to distribute my weight, Aaron said. I shimmied out to where the ice was thin. Then he crashed through the ice, falling from the boat and into the 16-foot deep water. That's not that deep. 16 foot?
I mean,
Is it pretty deep?
It's cold.
It's cold,
Yeah.
yeah, I guess. Since he was already wet, Aaron swam for the dog. She was starting to go under, he said. He grabbed the collar and swam for the ice, sliding the dog across the ice to the shore. He pulled himself out on the water, and a bystander handed him a blanket. The dog was put in front of a heater and went from being a cool dog to a hot dog. I wrote that line. That was me.
That's you editorialized.
We know. You winked at us and furled your eyebrows.
Yeah, you were smiling way too hard as you were saying
that last line you were so pumped about.
You really nailed it, though. I think that was a home run.
By the way.
Yeah, pretty good line. Oh, man. Here's one last story. Things weren't annoying enough with all the ads we've been seeing lately. How about this? A Gillette ad from space, because glowing space billboards could show ads in the night sky. This is something that we're working on. It's another fucking thing.
Some genius thing.
Yeah,
we all need.
These are ads you can't avoid. You want to look at, you want to show, like, go out and look in the night sky.
You know how awesome it's going to be when like Banksy figures out some way. I mean, you know, just some way to fuck with the ad. I mean, if somebody could pull that off, it'd be the best.
You know, yeah, but you know, it'll just be like a projection of just like human atrocities to
draw
attention.
It'd just be somebody would just go up there and drop penis on it.
I mean,
that'd be
that's the
hilarious.
first thing anyone would do.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, you have like Air Force pilots who are getting in trouble because they're drawing penises in their.
Somebody was telling me like when they describe game design, there's a TDD. And I was like, "What's that?" And it's time to dick.
What?
It's the amount of time when somebody's doing a game where you can draw something. The amount of times it takes until a user draws a dick.
That's funny.
Oh.
And they just it was like, I think it was like TTD time to dick.
TTD.
And it was just they do focus group with their games. They give people like an iPad or whatever, and the person just immediately draw a dick on it. They're like, all right, we got to work on the game.
Yeah,
we need to have a longer TTD.
They even did that in Red Dead Redemption 2. Like someone got an early copy of it, and they're like, "I love this game." And it's just a picture of him in the snow, and he's like walked a trail that looks like a penis in the snow.
Yeah, it's
funny.
just amazing.
Yeah.
But that's it's something game designers think about.
Yeah, well, now I guess advertisers can think about in the skies, because there's a company called Start Rocket. The team behind the wacky-sounding idea believes it will have the equipment ready by 2020. That's too soon. I'm not ready for this.
I'm not.
I need to prepare my body for these fucking ads.
That's just something they say to get investors, though.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be ready.
It says, we are ruled by brands at events. Sitinikov told Futurism recently, the economy is a blood system society. Entertainment and advertising are at its heart. We live... And imagine this in a Russian accent, because that's this guy's name. It says, we will live in space, and humankind will start delivering its culture to space. Yay, can't fucking wait. That's where the one fucking bastion where you can like go to space and you don't have any fucking culture, now they're going to spoil it with culture.
Culture, just...
What's that, Mikey?
Ads.
Like Taco Bell.
So if Russia starts, I'm still thinking about the ads. So if Russia has an ad, everyone in the world sees that ad eventually.
No, because it'll be in geosynchronous orbit. They can keep it in geosynchronous orbit around a certain city or
a digital
banner.
banner.
So it stays with the city the entire time.
Yeah, or like whatever country or whatever. It says
floats with you.
It does. Yeah, it's kind of like at the same speed,
the same orbit.
The same orbit. Yeah. It says the plan is demonstrated in a Start Rocket video above. They have like the stupid promo video, is to use satellites to light up different messages up to 6 minutes at a time. With the constellation located between 250 and 310 miles above Earth, the video shows the satellites getting into formation to spell out words like hello.
Do you know how many people are going to be pissed out? Like people are into stargazing. You know how they'll like go to a certain area of the country just so they could have a little light pollution, and that no matter what
you
in
can't
that
escape
city,
it.
you're just screwed.
Next up is an upside down McDonald's logo floating through the night sky, and then a message from KFC tempting us with its greasy treats. Ugh.
Who's gonna fix this stuff when it breaks?
You know what? It's just going to be more junk. It's just going to be floating
more shit out there.
And then if it gets hacked...
we just have dicks everywhere.
No, that's going to backfire so fast.
I just don't see that. I mean, hey, I don't know. We'll see, but I'm sure people are going to not be happy about it.
We know where
Bruce
it's going.
Willis and Ben Affleck and a ragtag crew together to send them out there and fix that thing.
You know what I'd like to see? I'd love to see a movie, instead of a ragtag crew, I'd love to see a movie get something done with like a super professional elite crew where nothing goes wrong.
Right.
And they just get shit done. They come back, high five, and then like fuck their partner.
Right.
And then
it
it's
just
like
ends with them saying, we're professionals, shaking hands around a room, and then you just kind of cut to black.
It's like, that was a good day. And then that's it.
So
I'm glad we're good at our jobs.
They just go in. They're just like contractors. They're just really good. It's called contractors.
Yeah, and just like we work hard. We're detailed.
We don't play hard.
Yeah.
Because we're working hard.
Yeah, we're working hard.
They got to get into this bank to fix their security system. All right, guys. That's it for this show. TJ, where can people find you?
Twitter-wise, at @tpeters. Otherwise, I don't know. Just look for the name online. I write things. I publish for many different places. Poetry, prose, essays. and occasionally find my way making a show or two.
Heck yeah, buddy. We'll link to you and Mikey Bolts.
Hey.
Welcome back. Where can people find you?
They can find me, Mikey Bolts, on YouTube or Mikey Bolts on the Insta.
Yeah.
Those are the only two places I am on the internet.
Yeah, check out Mikey's channel. It's so good. We were just talking about that earlier.
Oh my God, TJ has his on Twitter. His name is upside down.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that before.
That's cool.
I found that stupid feature somewhere, and I'm never changing it because I don't know how to.
It's pretty great. It's actually pretty great.
I'm following him already, or I'm about to.
And Ron Babcock, where can people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at HeyRon. Been getting into those Insta stories, man.
Yeah.
Oh, are you doing it?
Insta stories. Yeah, I keep posting headlines from the local newspaper that we get that are completely adorable.
They're so funny.
They're so fucking
I
funny.
screenshot those, Ron, and I send them to my friends.
They
so
are
funny.
It's just bonkers how cute they are. So at HeyRon on Instagram, at Ron Babcock on Twitter. I got an album on Spotify called This Guy that you can listen to for free.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Listen to it, guys. Super funny stuff. And real quick, in the chat room, we got Mundane Matt. What's up, bro? It's our homie, Mundane Matt. This guy's cool. Guys, also check out Mundane Matt's channel. He does a live news show. Or has been for a while, and I think maybe transitioning into some new stuff, which is really exciting. We'll, you know what? We got to have Matt on the show too at some point. He was in LA not too long ago, but yeah, Mundane Matt, really good dude, like that guy. Anyway, guys, you can find me at Maddox Rules on Twitter, and I forget Maddox AOM or something on YouTube. Anyway, leave us, guys. If you guys enjoy this show, spread the word. Tell your friends, tell your family. Leave us a good review, and we'll continue making them.
And call in.
Yeah.
I think voicemails are so funny.
The voicemails are fantastic.
They make me so nervous. Every time.
Oh yeah, well we got a correction on the outro, and don't forget to listen till the tail end of the episode because we always play voicemail there. But anyway, guys, until next week, I'm Maddox. Thank you, TJ Peters.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mikey Bolts.
Rock on.
Thank you to Ron Babcock, the Rear Admiral of Tangents.
Thank you, Maddox.
But most of all, you're welcome.
Maddox, it's furikake, not furiake. Dumbass. Yeah, I don't really give a shit.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.